February 29th, NFC Championship game where Brock Purdy tore his UCL on a hit by Hassan Reddick 6 plays into the game for the Niners offense. On that play, Brendan Ike was cutting wide open on a post corner route. He'd smoked Bradbury. Purdy's looking to throw to him. Hassan Reddick comes over the top. You can't do anything about it. You can't make the excuse that, hey, they knocked their quarterbacks out. That's part of football. That's what they're supposed to do. These grown-ass defensive linemen and Hassan Reddick, Fletcher Cox, and we'll see if Fletcher Cox plays. He suffered a groin injury, but Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are nothing to laugh at, nothing to scoff at. Brendan Graham coming off the other side. They are paid to knock quarterbacks out. They are a vicious, vicious defensive line. So, look, Brock Purdy tore his ACL, can throw the ball in the second half, threw like a screen pass to Chris McCaffrey. It was in the air for so long.
Yeah.
And it was a wrap. The Niners could not even throw the football.
I remember George Kittle on the sidelines. He's like asking him, like joking, hey man, like, can you throw with your left hand? Like we need you kind of a thing, like kind of joking. But I was just like, man, that's just so sad, the state of affairs, how it ended up there. And then you were there in person to watch it. Could only imagine that must have
depressing.
Sucked. Yeah.
It was depressing.
Was that the worst loss of your, like one of them in person of your sports career?
One of them.
Yeah.
The Rams game the year before.
Oh, yeah.
SoFi Stadium. That one hurt.
Because you were closer in that one, too. You felt like you had that one.
17-7 going into the fourth quarter.
I could wrestle as a fan, like, hey, you know what? We lost our quarterback in the, like, you know what? We weren't winning this game.
Right.
It is what it is. But to be that close, and you have the interception against Stafford, too. Mm-hmm. Tart. Brutal.
But it was depressing because when you left the stadium, Eagle fans taunting you. You get into the Uber.
Yeah.
Can't even get out. Our hotel's right there on Broad Street. They're partying. They call us bums, losers, everything. And that's fine. That's all part of it. But you know what? We don't forget. I never forgot. This week is personal. As a segment is sponsored by Golden State Lumber, serving the Bay Area for 3 generations. When you succeed, we succeed. Visit GoldenStateLumber.com. 888-957-9570. The week is here. Brock Purdy will be playing. Now, so I already got Eagle fans chiming in saying, hey, how are you going to protect Brock Purdy? How's he going to fare against his pass rush? Brock Purdy will be fine. But he's got to take better care of the football. There's no doubt. You can't get away with what you did in Seattle. Throwing the pick six in the third quarter. You get the crowd roaring back again. You have to take care of the football, and it's going to be in the elements. So a lot of people are going to talk about him wearing a glove or how is he going to throw the football in the rain or whatnot.
Hand size, Bonte. The hand size always goes back to him.
Well, you know what? This is football. It's December, all right? This is what happens. The elements become a factor. So if you have to travel on the road in the playoffs, you may have to play in some rain. You may have to play in some snow.
You might have to play in rain here. It could rain in Levi's. You have an outdoor stadium.
Exactly. So there's no excuses about weather after what Buffalo and the Eagles put up points. It's a 36-33 game. Josh Allen, did the rain bother him? Josh Allen played phenomenal football last night. Phenomenal. All right? Darius Slay Jr. said after the game, that guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He threw the ball, he dropped back 51 times. I mean, you're going to be prone to turnover here and there, but, man, in the elements, there are no excuses. Jake Elliott just made a 59-yard field goal in the rain. I don't want to hear about weather.
I saw a team in the Philadelphia Eagles last 2 weeks take on a top 5 defense in Kansas City, a slug it out, down for most of the game. The Chiefs threw their best punch, and I know the wide receivers dropped a bunch of balls for Mahomes, stuff like that, but that's still Patrick Mahomes. That's still Travis Kelce. That's Arrowhead freaking Stadium. You go out there and get that dub, and on the very next week, on a short week, by the way, for them, have a shootout against Josh Allen and a desperate Buffalo Bills team. Yeah. I've seen this Eagles team win every kind of game you can. I'm still waiting for the Niners to, win a kind of a winning ugly. Shout out Brad Gilbert, BG Tennis Nation, winning ugly. I need to see them do that this year.
Yeah,
and this might be this week.
It might have to be this week. 37-34, not 36-33. 37-34 yesterday for Philadelphia against the Buffalo Bills.
And real quick, speaking of a former Bills quarterback, Frank Reich, who was the head coach at Carolina, he gone. One and done.
Not even one and done. They can't even
make up one. You're right.
He didn't make it through a season.
3/4 and done?
Yeah. He didn't even make it through a season.
Man.
Frank Reich. Now, maybe they should have kept Steve Wilkes. But David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers.
I didn't even think of that. They probably should have kept Steve Wilkes.
And that's not shade towards Steve Wilkes, but he deserved that job. He turned that franchise around. Actually went on a little bit of a winning streak. He made Sam Darnold look like a comparable quarterback. So now the Panthers are 1-10. 1-10.
It is kind of funny. I'm looking at both of the teams that fired their head coaches already. Obviously, the Las Vegas Raiders and Josh McDaniels, who took over for an interim head coach in Rich Bisaccia, who many thought should have stayed there. He gets one and a half and done. He's gone. And now Frank Reich, as you said, taking over for an interim coach and Steve Wilkes, who had them on the cusp of the playoffs last year, and now he's gone.
Brutal.
Bryce Young, now what's his future over there, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's been bad this year.
Well, you know what's funny?
Set of circumstances, I know.
Well, you know what's funny is his family was at the game in Nashville, Tennessee. They were wearing Alabama gear. Mama and Papa were wearing Alabama gear. They weren't even wearing Panthers gear.
Yikes.
So that tells you everything you need to know about how they feel about the situation in Carolina.
I mean,
right
I could already name a couple rookie quarterbacks who have looked more impressive than Bryce Young this year. Will Levis, who beat him yesterday. Yeah. He's looked impressive. Obviously, C.J. Stroud, who's still in the MVP conversation as a rookie. Unbelievable game yesterday. If his kicker makes a kick, maybe we're talking about another tremendous comeback for him against a division rival in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hell, Aiden O'Connell at times has looked good. But Bryce Young, I mean, you just look at the stature, look at the size. If things aren't going well around him, and he had all the talent in the world at Alabama, doesn't look good. When Adam Thielen's your number one, it's tough.
Yeah, that's the thing. He has no running backs. He has no wide receivers. Tough. I mean, you got to get weapons. And that's one thing that's been proven time and time again in this league is you can't win it by yourself as a quarterback in this league. Think about, I thought Tom Brady was washed after his last season in New England. He had nobody. His number one wide receiver, I believe, was Kimbrell Tompkins.
There you go. Jacoby Myers is still there.
I mean, he was young, though.
Yeah.
You know, so if Jacoby Myers is your number one, you're not going to win many games. So you need people, you need personnel around you. Now, CJ Stroud, we didn't know about Tank Dell. We didn't know about Nico Collins, but those guys can play.
Yeah.
They can play.
Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz is a very good tight end. Very coming over from the Dallas Cowboys. So you need weapons around you to really ball out. So Bryce Young, I wouldn't close the book on him yet. I think there's a lot of talent there. He has a lot of composure, but you need players around him. Until he gets some players around him, he's going to look like the way he's looked.
How sexy of a job is that if you're like the Carolina Panthers right now in that situation? Now, I'll say this, like obviously it's a job in the NFL, so everyone's going to be looking at it. But like if I'm Jim Harbaugh and I'm looking around, you're not going there, right? You're looking at the Bears situation there. There's Vegas.
The Chargers job will be open.
Oh, Brandon
Staley's gone.
He's gone.
Staley's gone.
I mean, we played his sound bites last week. That was a guy
Staley's gone. I mean, that team's a joke. The Chargers, I mean, by the way, Justin Herbert, I'm still waiting for him to be better than Mahomes. There's a lot of pundits, not only in this market, but all over ESPN talking about who would you rather have, Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert? This was a thing 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
You guys had Mike Martz on saying he'd take Justin Herbert
over Patrick Mahomes.
And that's Mike Martz, former NFL head coach.
Well, Mike Martz showed that he's not the brightest guy, the brightest light bulb in the room.
No,
right?
but he did have great offenses, greatest show on turf. He was the architect of that.
Yeah, I guess. He had great personnel.
Did.
And then how many games did he blow in the playoffs?
Boy.
Remember that double overtime game against Carolina? Hey, Mike Martz, you can win the game right here. Why are you letting the clock run?
I know you remember it. What was that, 2005?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Oh, I remember it.
No.
So Mike Martz can say what he wants to say, but think about that. A lot of people were taking Justin Herbert over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's laughable. If you're a fan of the AFC West, not name the Chiefs, you'd understand how stupid that take is.
Yeah, no, it's a bad take. All right, let's go to the lines. 888-957-9570.